Hi students, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanya Sim or Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Now I am going to ask this. I don't know why Donald Trump is working so hard. The way I say it, he is working extra time, right? To make sure that he gets black support. And I really do not understand what is it with him with black support. It's really something that I've been trying to wrap my head around, but then I do not know. But I keep asking, why is it that he keeps bringing people that are not trustworthy or people that probably might have had some kind of a felony or something like that to endorse him? Probably he has not seen any prominent person to come on his campaign to endorse him, right? Now he brought somebody on, somebody that was just freed from prison not long ago to endorse him. I think he's a rapper, right? And he was like, I like your gray, I would like to get it. See, it's time people really should open their eyes. But what do I know when it comes to politics or opening eyes? A lot of people just want to take money and pocket and all that and endorse rubbish. But I want you to know this. When you are endorsing someone, make sure that the person you are endorsing is not just only going to benefit you, he is also going to benefit other people. And the other one was out there laughing is because we love you, black people love you, and it is because that you are going to make America great again. Let's get into this video.
What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D with the Midas Touch Network. So as I stated in a previous post, Donald Trump and Republicans want black people to endorse him so badly that they'll take anyone at this point. And let's be clear, they're all tokens, just like Tim Scott. But we'll get back to Tim. Recently, Donald Trump pulled Lawrence Taylor on stage.
I just want to say, I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat until I met this man right here. And I'll tell you what, he will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again, okay?
Lawrence Taylor is a registered sex offender who pled guilty to sleeping with a 16-year-old. During the trial, he bragged about how he would often order prostitutes and was never concerned with their age, saying, and I quote, "I didn't check their IDs." This is something that we can all easily Google, but a former president and current presumptive Republican nominee didn't vet the people he brings on stage to endorse him. This is how desperate he is to have a black person share the stage with him. Lawrence Taylor is a convicted felon who cannot vote, so I wouldn't be taking advice from him about who to vote for. And let's remember that Donald Trump is talking about all sorts of legislation to punish people for any crimes against cops, but has yet to say anything about crimes committed by cops that disproportionately affects people who look like these tokens he brought on stage. And now recently, he brings a rapper on stage in New York to endorse him as well.
Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us.
Make America great again.
Thank you very much. That's where I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that.
Did you know that this rapper, Chef G, literally just served 14 months in prison? Like he just posted bond a month ago. So a month later, Donald Trump, who says he wants the death penalty for drug dealers, brought a dude who is a suspected gang member who raps about selling drugs on stage to endorse him. Here's Donald Trump saying that we should have the death penalty for drug dealers.
We're going to be asking everyone who sells drugs, gets caught selling drugs, to receive the death penalty for their heinous acts, because it's the only way.
And then, of course, here he is backtracking when Bret Baier calls him out on it.
As an example, a woman who you know very well was in jail. She had 24 more years to serve. She served for 22 years. She had 20.
Alice Johnson.
Alice.
She was in the Super Bowl.
High quality, yeah. I said, how many years? And she was on a telephone call, and they were involved in selling marijuana, mostly marijuana. And she got like 50 years in jail.
But she'd be killed under your plan.
Huh?
As a drug dealer.
No. Under that? It would depend on the severity. It would depend on the severity.
She's technically a former drug dealer. She had multi-million-dollar cocaine ring.
Any drug dealer, look.
So even Alice Johnson in that ad.
She can't do it, okay? By the way, if that was there, no, she wouldn't be killed. It would start as of now, so you wouldn't go to the past.
This guy is so desperate to be endorsed by a black person that he's contradicting his own proposed policies. Yet here these tokens are just playing along. I mean, do you guys remember the 1776 project that Donald Trump enacted right before leaving office in 2020? Joe Biden immediately got rid of it as soon as he was sworn in. This project essentially banned any talk of racism or systemic racism in schools and banned diversity training. Here's Donald Trump bragging about that.
We embrace the vision of Martin Luther King, where children are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. The left is attempting to destroy that beautiful vision and divide Americans by race in the service of political power. By viewing every issue through the lens of race, they want to impose a new segregation, and we must not allow that to happen. Critical race theory, the 1619 Project, and the crusade against American history is toxic propaganda, ideological poison that, if not removed, will dissolve the civic bonds that tie us together, will destroy our country. That is why I recently banned trainings in this prejudiced ideology from the federal government and banned it in the strongest manner possible.
He banned diversity training. That's what he's talking about here. He doesn't think cops should be trained on cultural differences between black people and white people. He thinks training that leads to less negative interactions between cops and the black community is a bad thing. But he goes on to brag about basically changing curriculum so that children can only learn the good parts about American history.
The only path to national unity is through our shared identity as Americans. That is why it is so urgent that we finally restore patriotic education to our schools. Under our leadership, the National Endowment for the Humanities has awarded a grant to support the development of a pro-American curriculum that celebrates the truth about our nation's great history.
So, he wants to force only the history he approves of being taught to kids. He wanted to get rid of all history of slavery and civil rights, yet these tokens still run on stage to kiss his ring. And I like how he insults them to their face by saying he wants teeth like theirs. He wants to have teeth so that he can cosplay as a black person, knowing damn good and well that man's looks can make or cause cops to consider him a threat, and that is due partly because he banned the training that would teach cops that looks don't mean criminality. Get the f*** out of here. But let's get back to his favorite token, Tim Scott, the only black person he references when he talks about black people supporting him. Here he is insulting Tim Scott on 2 separate occasions.
I have to say, this is in a very positive way. Tim Scott, he has been much better for me than he was for himself. I watched his campaign. 2 great senators, which is hard. I mean, did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's...
And of course, Tim just stands there and keeps smiling and professing his love when we all know that if Trump does become president, the only spot in Trump's cabinet for Tim Scott will be some low-level appointment that insults his ranking as a senator. So in summary, Trump uses black people as tokens to secure a couple of black votes while proposing policies that negatively affect the black community. And sadly, it seems there's no shortage of tokens hungry for money and power who will sell out their own for 10 seconds of fame and a couple of frickin' dollars. Period. What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. So, Donald Trump went and spoke to libertarians, and in an attempt to make them think that he gives a damn about them, and really to try and get support from a group that really doesn't like him, he said this.
I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht.
Listen, I don't know if these people are applauding because he said Ross Ulbricht's name out loud, or if they're actually falling for this BS. Ross Ulbricht started a dark website where people could go on and buy illegal drugs. Donald Trump has often said that he wants the death penalty for people who sell drugs. Not to mention, Ross Ulbricht has been in prison since 2014, meaning Donald Trump could have pardoned him between 2016 and 2020 when he was president. But he didn't, because this is no different than Donald Trump building a wall and having Mexico pay for it. This is no different than Donald Trump having the best healthcare plan that's going to come out on day 1. This is no different than Donald Trump saying he's going to free the J6ers when he didn't do that while he was in office either. Donald Trump will say anything to get anyone's vote. Whatever the room is asking for, that is what he tries to give them. They were literally holding up signs saying "Free Ross," a person he had probably never heard of before walking onto that stage. But there he is, giving them what he thinks they want to hear, and it looks like some of them are actually falling for it. This is crazy. It is absolutely crazy to me, the amount of people who still believe this guy's BS. It's pathetic, it's sad, and it really tells you a lot about the incompetence of some of the voters in this country. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation.
So this is all I got from the video, and really sincerely speaking, I have my reservations when it comes to Donald Trump. So with everything, why is he trying so hard to get black votes? Because I mean, there are other people who could go get their votes and all that, but he has been working overtime. When I say overtime, I meant it overtime to make sure that he has black people on his side. But now, looking at the way things are going, he's been looking for a way to, bring them to stage to endorse him and the rest of it. And then he said that he doesn't want, if you do drugs, you are probably going to be unalive, right? And right there, you heard how that man psyched him. To my greatest surprise, he was dancing around. This really tells you how they are going to cover up some of their propaganda, or should I say, try to cover up some certain things just because he wants your vote. A lot of people are going to vote for this, but I really do not even for a minute. I would never want to probably be part of his campaign, right? And everything that got to do with it. And the young man said, "Make America Great," because He said, because I wanted to make America great again. I mean, and he said, I would like to get your grills, like whatever you got on your mouth, I would like to get it. You think that is coming straight up from his mouth, not straight up from his heart, not at all. He's just looking for that black people. And the other one also, they said he's a sex offender. Man, there are so many horrible stories surrounding everything that got to do with that man. And then coming from Tim Scott, do I really think Tim Scott has always been a sellout? But one thing I am going to assure you is that he is probably thinking that I am going to get a very good position if this man becomes the president, right? I do not see anything good coming for Tim Scott. He's probably just going to be like, on the low class because, excuse me, a lot of people were saying maybe they're going to make him the VP, like the vice president. But you think that is ever going to happen? It's never going to happen. So he is laboring, and I hope, but I don't think he's labor. I mean, we yield fruit because Tim Scott is not for people that look like me, and he is a coon, big time. I'm sorry to use that, but that is what he is. He does not support black community. He doesn't stand with black community. So who is actually going to support him? But one thing I am going to tell you is that I am not endorsing anybody, but I just keep bringing news as they come, so you all will kind of decide who you want to vote for. It is not me that will say this is the person you are going to vote for, or this is the person you are not. So if you choose, this person is good for not just only you, some people are going to be selfish during election, right? Because they are looking for something like, I call that stomach infrastructure. I just want something for me, only me, right? When you are going to vote, I hope the person you are voting for is not just only going to favor you. Because if you are only favored and the rest of the people around you are all suffering, you are not doing great. So make sure that whatever good that is coming around you, make sure it spreads around so that everybody will be fine. It is not making America great because it has never been ever great for people that look like me. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.